already left home, and it's coming up to 4:15 in the afternoon on the Saturday, the 30th of July. And we're on our way down to Church Norton. I've got to stop at Chichester, pick up some rag from SAS. Let's turn this thing, turn the fan off. Yeah, pick up some rag from SAS and then make our way up to Church Norton. I haven't done a fishing video for the last 2 months, so yeah, it's my first opportunity to get out and yeah, do another one. Time, I don't know. I had 3 ideas. I thought, right, I've got Saturday now to do, you know, an evening session, stroke night. Where do I go? Chesil, high water was about 3:30 this afternoon. I've never normally done a session fishing high water down, and I always said I should do on a Chesil, but I've never done it yet. Purbex, 5:30, late afternoon, early evening, well, there you are, late afternoon, high water. Again, would be fishing the Ed. I decided to come down here, come a lot further up the coast to Church Norton, because high water is about 9:30 this evening, and that would suit me just fine. Well, we're here. It's about 4:20 now. Yeah, Church Norton car park. Just waiting for a couple of cars to leave, and I'm going to move my car and put it in a better position so it's easier for me to get stuff out the back. So the car park's pretty round. I hope they're all bird watchers and church people. So yeah, anyway, let's get on the beach. See you on the beach. It's lovely down here. Really quite quiet, peaceful. I don't know if all those cars are on the beach. I don't know. Oh dear. But we'll see. Just quickly show you the harbour before the tide comes in. This is the Pagham Harbour at low tide. There's the Shingle Spit. That's closed at the moment for nesting birds, apparently. And we go up from the end and around. It's going to be very windy, but the tide, we're not down bang on low water, but the tide's just come up to the bottom of the shingle now, which is very nice. And I'll just show you these rods. So basically, I've replaced the rings with, there's my finger, there we are. Yeah, let's get the shadow out. I've replaced the rings with these Fuji type rings. Well, they're not like original Fujis. They're like a brighter yellow, but they've got that shock ring and then the insert. But I think they're a copy, but you know, I think they're a lot stronger. The original rings were like an alkanite. They were like a copy of an alkanite ring. And I lost 2 inserts, 2 or 3 inserts by the rods falling and blowing over onto the beach, even with a shingle bag, on the stand. Um, you know, so this is a lovely job that a chap called Peter Barnett from Brighton did, and I chose green and yellow. He's put a bit of white tape on this rod because it denotes the tip to the butt. Okay, because you could do 50 rods on the same mandrel, but they're all going to be slightly different. So you've always got to keep the tip matched to the butt to get the best action. So yeah, so it's like a metallic green and with a yellow tipping. And I think it's very, very nice all the way up there. And the tip rings are diamites. The only thing which I don't like, and what I did at home, was when I put on my reflective tape, I put it on a little bit wide. I like it a bit thinner, I realised. And I've got the fish scale reflective tape and the fish scale reflective tape. This stuff wasn't sticking in, you know, the next day the stuff was peeling off. So I've actually put some sellotape around the ends, and it actually makes the rod a little bit scruffy, like that. So I bought some more reflective tape today from SAS, which is the Gemini. I thought this was the original Gemini, but it's just not, didn't seem to stick very well. And I cleaned the rod and everything. But there you go. So my match rods now are rebuilt with these Fujis, and I think they are lovely. Yeah, I think Peter Barnett's done a fantastic job for me on those, and I've got finally got some rod rings on there which I can rely on. It's the old mackerel squid, and I've got some rag in here which I picked up from SAS today. Yeah, and that's what I decided. I mean, I left the sand eels and the blueies at home. I don't want to take it all out of the bloody freezer, you know, and I'm pretty sure, let that blow away, I'm pretty certain of what's going to be about. I mean, after dark, there might be a couple of dogs and bass and that. During the day, I think I'm just going to pick up, there's the rag, mixture of king, some really large ones in there. Get my finger out of the way. Yeah, really, snakes, well, not snakes, like, and there are rag that are nearly 2 foot long in some parts, but this is, and there's some smaller ones in there. So yeah, there you go. All the better to bite me. Right, let's get them on the rigs, and let's get the rigs out in the water. First rig will be the 3-hook flapper, 2 up, 1 down, and make sure the mic is working. 2 up, 1 down. Dip the hooks in seawater just to wet them, help the worm go on better. That's it. Right, with the hooks wet, I can now proceed with baiting up. Except I want my hands dry to hold these buggers. That's it. Right. Oh, let's get one. Come on, out you come. Yeah, you can bite, can't you? You can bite all you want. What is going on? So basically, about inch, half inch, 3/4 of an inch. There's a wasp around here as well, trying to bait up. Thank you. Get out of my bloody camp. Right. So basically, bream baits. I'm literally going to just pull the eye into the worm of the body of the worm. I shall then snip off. In fact, just cut. Oh, sorry. And wasps are carnivorous, believe it or not, and they do eat. Well, they eat aphids, and they do eat a lot of things. Are quite. They're all part of the system, you know, the ecological system. Um, and they eat aphids, and that they do help the gardener in a way, but they also are always a bloody hindrance to human beings when we want to do our things, like picnics and put something in the bin on the seafront in the middle of summer. You know, fight your way through the bloody swarm of wasps. Right, let's see that like that. Okay. Leave that flapping like that. Off wasp. Oh, you little. put that like that. Cover the worms up so Mr. Waspy don't get on there. Just going to do a layback. Do a little layback cast. Speak that microphone. Not with that loose leader on there, Mr. Jones. Not like that. You're not going to take the loose leader off. Because that would cock everything up. Right. Oh, come on. That's it. Just the layback cast. Right, let's see what that will produce. Right, and the next rod, my old faithful flowing trace rig with the let's get some with the Gemini spring and drop down clip. As you see that bit there. This will be, make sure the wasp isn't on the handle. No, okay. Nor is he on the bait. Right, okay. This will be a mackerel and squid. And yeah, I think the wasp has had his fill. Maybe he's gone back to tell his mates. I hope not. Right. Do you know what? I can't touch anything without bloody cleaning my hands. But you know why? Because that's a good thing, because that stops everything from getting shit order. Right. Cool. I've had this elastic now 5-6 years now. It hasn't rotted. Still going strong. The old Tronics Pro, fine. Still going very strong. Right. Let's wet the hooks. Right, so it's a pennel on size 1/0. Ouch, that's just stuck in my finger. So what I'm going to do is take the mackerel first. Through, how many times have I shown this? This is crazy. Take the wide end, sorry. Through the flesh and out through the skin, then back through the skin and out through the flesh. Like so. That's like that. And then take the wide end of the squid, and yeah, I'm going to go on the pink side first. Just once through like that. Push it down so both bits gone past the bend of the hook. Then you've got both bits either side of the line like that, line flat against the shank of the hook. Okay, and we take a cotton and we bind. And you can have this all set up on a baiting hook, a baiting needle set up. You know, all those baiting tools and that you can get now. I still haven't bought a baiting tool. I did make one up, but years ago I made one up. It's got about 4 prongs on it, for loading up on black lug, frozen black lug. And that is the little compact squid and mackerel bait I get on a 1/0, and I just bring down the 1/0 pennel, and I always leave about, say, 1.5 to 2 inches of mono, so that I can manipulate the hook. You see, turn the hook upside down, goes in the skin of the mackerel like that, and then back out. Then you can pull that excess line back up, and that pulls the hook into alignment, and you've got a hook on the back of the bait and the main hook on the front of the bait. And look at that, it's beautiful, isn't it? Whether it's going to catch anything is something else, is another question. Right, see you in a bit. Right, I'm going to show you. So basically, the easiest thing when you want to set this rig up, where you want to load it ready for casting, bring your snood up through the hanger clip, and then you bring your hook down to your bait clip, because mine. There's that wasp again. Oh, thank you. Off. I'll have to pull my sock. Anyway, it's on the bait clip. Pull, and then that will pull the compressor spring, the SRT spring, and then she's ready to go. And she's gonna get a pendulum. Yes. Right. Let's make sure those wires are in their slots. Okay, let's go and give it a good old crosswind pendulum. Nothing like that, is it? Microphone attached. This time I have sorted the leader out. So I mean, my fishing pendulum is always going to be as simple as I can make it, because I'm probably going to repeat it loads of times throughout the session. It doesn't need to be anything complicated or anything that you've got to go to the gym to work out on just to get it to go. Make sure I've got distance from about 10-12 meters from the camp. I've actually got room here with this shelf behind me. That does look a bit close. I might have to step forward a bit. I might just get away with it here. I'll slacken my clutch off first whilst holding the spool. I spin the handle, so if it was to come into gear, it could still cast on the clutch. Then I disengage, so that's spinning. I disengage the spool. I would pull the leader outwards like a bowstring, and I won't pull it down to slacken it off on the spool. Pull it outwards, and that way it stays tight on the spool. I put my first finger is on the yellow tape mark, which is my reach for me. Okay. I look where I'm going to cast, and I'll dig my feet in. My left is going to the direction I want to cast. I'm looking up in the air, looking out on the horizon. Over this side, and I will put my weight over the right foot, and my arms are out and in front of my body here, not tucked behind, they're in front. And that helps me stay in front, ahead of the cast. Out, push down, turn my head, and that's gone quite a way. Yeah, it's about 110 yards out from the top of the bank here. I've got about 30 yards of dry shingle between me and the water, and you know, I felt the crosswind, but just tighten up. I've changed the rods around because, of course, the long cast has gone over top of the other rod. Even though I walked up to the right, there's a lot more line out. And I can just tighten up. Got tips down quite low. I can sit back in the bivvy now. Watch those tips. They're nicely around. And there might even be something on. See, the right hand rod now, it's got the rag on. The left hand rod I've just chucked out. I'm still waiting for that to settle. But the tip on the right is pulling around a bit. Been out about 15 minutes now, the rag bait. Yeah. Still about 30 yards from our shelf down to the water. So, yeah, we'll see. Plenty of time. Got to get something. You know, maybe, who knows? Who knows? We might even get some mackerel this evening. Maybe if the wind was to drop, just before, like 7-8 o'clock, about hour and a half before high water. Who knows? We'll see. So, if you can see, I haven't got my glass, so I can see. Well, I can see the lines. Whether you can see it here or not, I've got the fish bait is on that line, and the worm bait is going slightly that way, about 56, probably about 60 yards out, 70 yards out, and the left hand's probably about 110, something like that. Just the way I like it. I tell you what, I hope that unload of driftwood there don't come down at high water. That would cause me a lot of damage. The thing is, the wasp seems to have left me alone for a bit. Well, I said that earlier and it came back, and it 5 to 6, I'm going to have some dinner. Tonight it's going to be, what's that? Tomato and basil chicken pasta, same as what I had back in May down at Purbex. I'm getting these are quite nice. They're nice. It's quick and easy. You just grab it off the shelf. As long as you remember to bring along a spoon or something. And then there's a pasty as well. And in there I've got a muffin, flask of coffee, water. Yeah, and that'll do me for tonight. Believe it or not, the wasp has come back. Tuck my trousers in my socks because I don't want it going up my bloody leg. Been stung a few times by wasps, and it's just a sting, and it's an aggravating, annoying pain that you have to put up with for the initial 5 or 6 minutes is quite strong burning, and then after half an hour it's just like a well, if you're doing other things, you probably don't even notice it, and it's only unless you rub it or scratch it, and then it aches a bit, and then the next couple of days it starts to get quite itchy. Strange, really. I don't even treat the bloody things. I just let them take the natural course. Right, the rods are out. Here is Mr. Pasta, as I don't put the bloody wasp in my mouth. I think we can live together in harmony. Stay there, wasp. This is my food. Nice. You can watch the rods. That's it. It is a lovely day, I must admit. Really, oh, yeah, there's probably weed on the line. Look at those tips now. I've gone mental. Eat the dinner first before reeling. Oh, you look at this. As soon as I want to film him eating, he's buggered off. I'm going to show you how the wasp is eating, actually. Eating the mackerel strip. He might be back in a bit. Right, now then. There he is. Look at him eating that mackerel. Isn't that amazing? Chewing away at it. Look at him eating it. And they got big jaws for cutting. Amazing, isn't it? We'll see. I don't think there's anything on here, to be honest with you. Where's that microphone? Yeah, I don't think there's anything on here, to be honest with you. But I might as well reel it in because it's been in nearly 45 minutes, and I think there could be a load of weed on there. Oh, God forbid. There we are. Hope this mic is picking up. Yeah, well, the lead's coming in. Yeah, in it comes. Let's see what we can see. Feels like I've got. Ah, that's it. I pulled through it. Okay, fair enough. There was, and there's nothing on it. So reel this one in. Put some more worm on there. The baits have been stripped clean. Yeah, bait's been stripped clean. There we go. Just clean the sand off the lead. Pop the rod behind the shelter. That way the wind blows the rod into the shelter and the rod won't hopefully blow off the side of the shelter. Shouldn't do. And I shall bait these up. I'll show you this right with my hand. Right, where's the bait? There's the bait. So basically the bait is a part, what we used to call a particle bait. So it's about a third of a rag and then just tipped with squid on there to stop it from slipping around to the bend of the hook. And that's the same on all three. And of course there's the head of the worm, and you can see it's about an inch down from the head. I don't put it in their mouth. So look at that head moving around and that. And then there's squid tipping that. So they're all tipped squid this time. Microphone's working, I guess. I hope. Right. Let's just flick this one out. As I get more depth of water, I've got more chance of bream coming in to within 30 yards of the shelf here. I think when the water's coming up, high water be out here. There you go. Yeah, that's about 30-40 yards out on the sand there. The sand kind of stops about there and goes onto like stony ground, onto another sort of shallow bar, but there you go. That is really quite close in. So back to the wasp, the continuing wasp saga. I've just had 4 on here, 3 have flown off, and I actually watch what they're doing. They're not eating it; they're cutting it. And you watch what this one does. They're cutting it, and then they're gripping it in their jaws and flying off with it. They're taking it back to their nest. Whether they feed larvae on it or not, or feed the queen, I don't know what they're doing, but they're taking the meat, the flesh that they're cutting, back to the nest. And if you look on that fillet there's little bumps. That's pieces they've cut off. They're engineers, I tell you. They're cutting it and they're carrying those pieces in their jaws back to the nest. That's bloody amazing. I've seen it now, because in this case, seeing is believing. I saw one of the others fly off and fly away with the meat just hanging out of his jaws. He's just carrying it. Well, one's come back, you see, for more. Let's have a look, see what he does. Church Norton Wasp Special, this is. Right. Now look at him working there. He's cutting it. And he'll cut out a square. And when he's got enough that he knows the maximum that he can carry whilst flying, then he will, or she will, I don't know. No, I think all the females become queens down there. I don't know anything. I'm not an apiarist. I don't know anything about bees and wasps, really, but the males are the workers, aren't they? I know they all bloody sting. Let's see what he does. I hope this is picking up on the mic. Should be. Yeah. Let's see what he does now. Watching very carefully, keeping my hand as still as possible. Come on now. He's actually cutting up a cube of meat. Do you know what? Given enough time, if a fox didn't get the fillet, if you left it out all day, the sun would bake it, but these buggers would strip it. Well, I say strip it. They certainly take a lot of the flesh off, they would. Look at him cutting away there. Cutting away. The cutting motion is like he balances his body. Look, he's got a big cube there. He's about to lift it. Come and show me what you do. Show the audience what you do. There's his mates come back. You're nearly done, mate. Look at him. Look, he's got it in his legs. He's got it in his jaw. He's pulling on it. Like he's pulling on it. He wants to just get that last little bit. And when he's got it, he'll carry it away. There they are. There's all 4 of them. They're working really hard, I tell you. Look, see those little lumps I was telling you about over there? They're on them. Has he got it? Yes, he has. He's going to take off, and he's got a bloody great lump of meat in his chops. That's amazing. Nah, that's amazing. Tell you what, it's a lovely day down here at Church Norton. But it's a Saturday and the beach is empty. There's a couple of people up there flying a kite. He's been down here for a couple of hours now. There was, when I got here at about, what was it, I don't know, 4:30, 4:45, there was a couple of people swimming out there as the water was reaching the shingle. Another elderly couple was sitting there. But it's beautiful. So there's the spit, and that's closed off at the moment for nesting birds. It's closed in the summer, I think they say. Although I expect you could walk around the below the high water mark to the end, to the entrance to Pagham Harbour, and there is some big bass you could spin for in the entrance there. You know, it's a good place apparently. And if we go right in the distance, we've got Pagham and then Bognor. Yeah. I'll tell you one thing, since the water's got deeper, the surface is getting quite smooth. We've lost the chop we have. So later on this evening there might be some mackerel around, who knows? Need a bit more depth of water. The rod with the big bait I always call the big rod. I don't know why, they're the same rods they are. They've got the same reels, nylon. Same main line, except one that's got the big bait has to be called the big rod, and the one that's got the scratch on with little baits has got to be called the little rod. It makes sense to me anyway. So let's reel it in, and well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll get another rig out, bait that up, two pat it, double pat it, have it hanging, and then I'll reel the big rod in and then just change over. Right, let's reel this one in. Okay. It's been out over an hour, this one has. What's the time now? 5 minutes past 7. This one hasn't been out for a long time. It's probably been picked clean by the crabs. So, come on now. There's a little bit of stone out there I'm pulling over. Yeah, there's nothing on this. I haven't had any bites at all yet. I did have that movement on the rod tip earlier. But, yeah, no bites at all whatsoever. Alright, bait's clean on that. What I'll do now, literally, put the rod in the rest, in the stand, unclip the rig, drop it on the floor, get the mentally long rig. It's long, it's probably about twice the length of the other one, but it pays to have different lengths and that, doesn't it? You know, you can chop and change and experiment right until you find the fish. And this won't go out so far, not sure. Where am I going to put this? Right, let's just change the camera angle. Cast this, it's a bit silly because I've got the wind blowing down the beach the way I'm walking, but I am going to cast in this side of the stand just to try a bit of different ground. Do another pendulum, I suppose. Keep getting the distance. So yeah, there we are. You can see it from this side now, as long as you can pick it up on the mic. Slacken the clutch off whilst holding the spool, of course. Spin the handle so it spins freely. Disengage the spool. Pull the line out so that you can feel that it's free running through the rod rings, and then take up your hand positions, and then take up your feet positions, and you're good to go. Make sure I don't hit that bank behind, come forward a bit more. I'll always double check and treble check the line running through the rings. Right, that's gone out. Okay. I did cast it up into the wind, and it wasn't a brilliant swing on it, but it was a very gentle swing, but it was enough. It was enough. Now that's out there now. Right, let's tighten that up. That's good. Tighten up the scratcher as well. Tighten up big rod. Yeah, okay. Well, it's 7:30 in the evening now, and I've been fishing since probably around about 5:30. And it's been a checkbook so far. I'll tell you what, the wind is quite strong. Wind's a good 20 mile/hour wind. So I don't know. 2 hours now before high water. So I'll just show you. So there you are. It's about 15 yards away from the bottom of our ledge here. It's got another 2 hours to come up in, but there's no bites or any signs or anything yet. There's another chap who's let's just turn that. There's another chap who's about 200 yards, 250 yards up the beach from me. I think he's on the right hand side of that other what do you call them, that other bank of stone I was telling you about, that other spit of stone. I think he's on the second bay up. I don't know how he's going to get on or not, but I know so far it's been dead down here. I'm going to reel in the scratcher now, put some fresh bait on. I'm literally just going to plop it about 20 yards out. Just at the bottom of the shingle. Just do that and see what that'll bring. So, yes, 7:30. Catch you in a bit. So, right hand rod is now 30 yards out into the water. It was just a lob. Yeah, the left hand rod's still out with a big bait on at range, but yeah, I've got that scratcher right in now. Pulled him right in. Get in there. The scratcher has actually got three strips of mackerel on. So if I was remembering rightly, up until last year I was catching bream at night on the mackerel strip. I did catch them on the rag during the day, but maybe they take the mackerel strip. But you know, if there is any bream here now, it's July. They're normally here right through to about November, because the climate is quite mild and the sea's quite warm. Anyway, we'll see. Right, it's just gone 8. All is well, apart from the fish, of course. As you see, it's sun has come off the beach now. If we look up there, you can't see. There's the sun setting over there, and yeah, a bit of a chop over there, but the sea's quite smooth compared to earlier. And of course, it's come up closer as we're about an hour and a half in high water. I expect it to be up here, just lapping about here. I hope I don't have to move the camp back. Roger's still out from earlier, or around about the, was it? Been out for over half an hour now, and I have got two baits hanging. I've got a bloody great ragworm bait on 3 O's. There, uh, that's okay. You know that if there was a stingray around, that would give me a chance. And then I've got the 1O flowing trace. So pulley pennel 3O's and the flowing trace 1O's with the mackerel and squid, and a couple of wasps as well eating off it. Yeah, yeah, the wasps didn't give in. They stayed with me all day long, all afternoon, and they're still here now eating. It's crazy, isn't it? There's the other angler up there. It's just the two of us down here tonight, so I hope he has more luck with me. Yeah, gotta say, but it is really, it's pants at the moment. There we are. It's getting dark soon. Fingers crossed. See you in a bit. Well, there's the rods, and it's 9 o'clock now. Half an hour to high water. The tide stayed down there on that little lip there, which is nice. Scratches out again, this time with rag on, rag tipped with squid, and that's literally just plopped out about 50 yards. The big king rag bait is still out there on the big rod, and it's starting to get dark. And the bloody wasps, they're still chewing away, and they don't like me going to the cutting board now, as if they own it. Ah, God, if I'd got another mackerel out, they'd be on that. They would. It's like they've put a location, a bloody grid reference down for my cutting board. And I've also got about 3 of them hanging on a baited rig out there, hanging on the mackerel on that. Crazy. And it's getting dark. Bloody things. And they were getting angry because they started bumping into my arm, and I'd have to brush them off. I don't like that. Yeah. So, but hopefully they'll go in a minute. I think I'll just put the cutting board out in the wind now. Yeah. I'm just trying to get something. And it's been deadly, it has. Absolutely deadly. So if I don't get anything, the next time you see me, we'll be back in the car. So fingers crossed, let's hope we get something for the camera. See you in a bit. Well, what can I say? Finally, 9:45. I've just chucked out a 3 flapper with mackerel strip on, and the wasps have gone. Finally, they went at just gone 9:30. Somewhere between 9:30 and 9:45, they disappeared. Ah, just chucked this out. I got bite straight away on the mackerel strip. So we're just over top of high water. Just watch that right hand rod. Might be on there now. Might save a blank. Yeah, something still. Yeah, there's something on there. I'm gonna reel that in. Yeah, line's gone slack. I don't know if there is anything on there. Oh, there is something. Come on now, you can come. Yeah, there's definitely something here. Definitely something. Right. There was a fucking, excuse my French, it was a slack liner. No, now it's coming in easy. Must be just the stones and the weed on the bottom. Yeah. Bummer. Good bites. Oh yeah. We have a black bream. If you can see that there. We put that on. That's better. On mackerel strip. On black bream. Save the blank. Put him in there. Good size. Yeah, it's a little bit. Yeah. He hit that. That's not a bad size. Not a bad size, I tell you. Didn't half hit them. As soon as the bloody lead had landed on the bottom, he hit it. Right, see if we can get another one. Wow, there we are. That's 28 and a half. 28 centimetres, that one. Probably just under a pound. It's a goner. It was deep hooked and damaged his gill. So I'm going to smack him on the head, clean him up, take him home, see if we can get a couple more, take home with him if we can. Right hand rod has got slack. I just had a set of bites on there, and a left hand rod on the bloody 3.0 panel just had a set of bites. So we'll see. I think I'll pull that right hand rod in. Right. Blankety blank. Right, we're back in the car. It's 10 to midnight. Just the one bream. I had a few bites after 10 o'clock, but once I was getting near 11 o'clock, that tide was rapidly dropping. When I left the beach, it was a good 10 yards down from where it reached at high water, and I couldn't connect with the other bites. So, yeah, at least it wasn't a blank. Yeah, Church Norton, the Wasp special. So until next time, ciao for now.